All right. Let's see what's going on here. My computer is moving slow. It says that I'm on. Alright, yeah, we gotta turn the music off, because then when I go to put this on YouTube, it'll mess around and say, oh, you don't have permission to use this video. Good evening, Unapologetically Keith group members. Welcome to another episode of Unapologetically Keith. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10:30 now. We're now doing the whole hour to have some conversation. And I am, good evening, Kim. I am a crisis specialist. That means I specialize in helping people get through the very difficult things in their lives. And this is what I do. And so here on the show, we try to bring up different subjects of crisis-based or things that might be troubling to some folks. And we just try to have a conversation. And of course, the real action goes down here in the chat room for us. So I will try to introduce or say hello to everyone that comes in as they come in. And tonight, first of all, let me wish my lovely wife happy anniversary, Tiff. It is our 13th anniversary, and somebody said, you're still going to do the show on your anniversary? Yes, Les, this is showing up. And so my wife and I talked about it, and she know how I feel about showing up or being here for folks. So we decided I'm going to do the show tonight, because we don't bug out and don't get so caught up into the holidays and all other stuff like that. But we had a good day today, hung out and made the lovely wife breakfast and just hung out and relaxed and got some work done, a lot of work done. Plus we had a tremendous thunderstorm here, and that caused us to lose power. So we had I can't see everyone. I don't know if they're all here. I guess when they pop in, they're gonna pop in. Hey, Queen Nikita, I hope everything is okay, Queen, and your family. Let me turn this thing down here. Okay, that's way too loud. There we go. Hope everything is good with you, Keita. We missed you the other day, but I'm definitely going to do, Kim also missed, so we're going to do probably a part 2 to have you ladies come on, because I definitely want to hear from you young ladies. It was deep, very deep last night, and the ladies went in. So, you know, that was, if you have not watched last night's show, first let me just say shout out to Michelle Green, Tony Caraway, and Barbara Jean Wilson, who shared their stories of overcoming domestic violence and being in recovery, and also writing books and going on to such great things after some very, very difficult things that they had to endure. And it was, I am so honored that they allowed me to sit in. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Michelle. I'm so honored that they allowed me to sit at their feet and listen. So please go and watch yesterday's video. It's up in the group. Also, make sure you seek these ladies out. They have books. Make sure you purchase their books, because when you listen to their story and you see how far that they have come in their own lives, purchasing a book is a small thing. And it's a great way to tell somebody I rock with you. I sometimes forget that I write books, but I try to mention it enough. But some people tell me I got to promote more, but we'll talk about that. So, 13 years of marriage, and Tiff and I have been together for 20 years. And some people are finding it kind of shocking that I was a cheater, but I was. And most of you who have read From Gigolo to Jesus, thank you again. Okay, oh, no doubt, Barbara, no doubt. Oh, listen, the gratitude is all mine. You ladies' stories was incredible. I watched it again last night when I was putting together the small sample clip to be able to promote it without having to show the whole thing, and oh, it was mind blowing. You ladies brought it in your own way, and you really shared a lot. And let me just, and off the subject, and I know it's a tangent, but I just want to say, when you go and watch last night's show with what Michelle, Barbara, and Tony share about themselves and what happened to them, you'll be even more impressed with what they were able to do afterwards. So anybody in this group, just watch last night's show and leave these ladies a word. Just say something, because if you're not touched by what these ladies shared last night, I don't know what to tell you, because I know I was. I came off last night and I was extremely honored to even just be there. And shout out to T to the Y, who'll probably pop on tonight too. He was holding it down for the men, as well as bringing his thoughts in as a person that works with families and have worked with children. So, as I was saying, 13 years my lovely wife and I have been together. Married, that is. We've been together 20 years. So, the first 5, everything was great. Let my wife tell it. And then that's when everything started to go downhill, when I got caught cheating. Now, here's the thing that's very interesting. I want folks to understand. We know. Oh, Kitty, you had an emergency. No, nothing to be sorry about, love. You're definitely welcome back. And I definitely looking to do a second show, and I will do it because Kim wanted to come and she missed it. So I definitely will do a second one, because I definitely want to hear from you ladies as well. You have a story to tell as well, Nikita, and I definitely want to hear that as well. So trust me, I'm going to do it again. Hey, Toya, thank you for the anniversary wishes. So my wife and I tell this story. We have a lot of conversations. She's probably going to, if she hasn't popped on yet, she'll probably pop on before the night is over. And let me just tell you something, ladies. Here's one thing that we always get this question, like when we talk about cheating. I hear people say men never change. I get that, and I can understand why a lot of women feel that way. I also hear a lot of women say a woman is stupid if she stay with a man that's been cheating on her. She must have something wrong with her. Hey, Lise, what's up, love? And I'm going to tell you something. As much as many of y'all believe that, it's not necessarily true. Thank you for the anniversary wish. It's not necessarily true for this reason. Unless you know what the relationship was and who the people are in the relationship, you cannot brush it with such a broad brush. Now, I asked a question earlier, do cheaters ever change? And I know Michelle, Deidre, I think is her name, and if I got her, Deidre, I think responded. A couple others. I know Pam responded. Hey, there go my lovely wife. So she'll fill in any gaps that I miss, and a couple others. And the one thing that when the question comes up about being stupid, stuff like that, and I won't defend my wife just because I love her. That's my job, but she don't need defending. My wife is a big girl. She puts on her big girl drawers. Oh, they're not pretty. Her big girl panties. But because the one thing that we know in each other is that, and Tiff will handle all the happy anniversaries. You can respond, everybody, for me, baby. I appreciate it. Is that the one thing that always comes about when we go places to speak and we talk about this? The thing that Tiff allows women to understand about her is that she didn't get caught up in my dirt. She knew something was wrong. And abuse is gradual. But it wasn't that type of abuse, Michelle, because I was great at home. I was perfect at home. I was the perfect gentleman. I was the perfect husband. I mean, at the time, boyfriend. I was doing everything at home that I was supposed to do. I just was very good at being out in the street and doing the nasty things that I was doing out in the street. But I always knew to come home and take care of home. And that's one of the things when Tiff and I explained this, is that there was no abuse at home. There was no negativity. I got caught. But Tiff knew something was wrong because she started to see that it looked like I was being troubled. And when she would inquire, I'd tell her different thing. I was just struggling, baby mama drama and paying the bills and, other things like that. The things that men will hide behind. And, she would offer assistance, offer to help, and she would help me if I was short of money and anything like that. But all of it was just lies to be able to hide what I was doing. And I think the thing that we all have to look at in our own relationships, no one is inoculated to somebody misusing them. You can't stop somebody if they decide they're going to treat you badly. There's nothing you can do there. You just got to hope that they don't break your heart completely and you can recover. Hey, Tony, just mentioned you a little while earlier. Great to see you. Hey, Kim, thank you. So in this particular case, I was very smooth. My wife is in the chat. I was very smooth because here's the thing. The more intelligent the woman, now let me just explain this to you ladies. The more intelligent the woman, the more gifted the cheater has to be. So because I didn't mess with a lot of stupid women, it wasn't really my thing. What's up, Flex? I messed with a lot of intelligent women. I had to be very good at what I did in terms of cheating. Also, the thing that separated, and I can't say separated me from other cheaters, it just made me a little different, is if my wife called, or if Tiff called when she was my girlfriend, if Tiff calls me at 9 and says, will you be home by 9:30? Wherever I'm at in the city, I'm coming home. So I could be mid-stroke. Up, gotta go. You just gonna leave me like that? Yep, gotta go. T to the Y, what's going on? And the reason why is because we were together 3 years. I'm sorry. Look, see, I told you she gonna straighten it out. 3 years, and then the next 3 years was the next 4 years. What was it? Next 3 years, next 4 years. We were, and then it wasn't just one time. And that's the thing is like, you cry, you plead, you beg. And let me tell you something. Okay. All right. When Tiff caught me cheating the first time, she had figured out, she was on the computer, and that's how I learned a very hard lesson about signing out and Xing out. You must sign out of an email, because if you just X out, you're still signed in. So Tiff was sitting at the computer. I was still signed in. She went to send me an email. The email came back to her, and that's when she realized that she had access to my email account. Went in, read all my emails, had all the dirt. So the next morning, got up in the morning, made love that morning. I'm thinking everything is great. We riding to work. I'm chipper. Got that glow. Tiff is sitting quietly. And I'm not paying no attention like most arrogant dudes. You're not paying no attention. And we was just about where the Gateway Mall is in Brooklyn to all my New York folks. Almost near Starrett City. Or whatever it's called now. I forget what the name is. And Tiff goes, how long you been cheating on me? Now, ain't no cheater just giving up that info. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, just tell me, how long you been cheating on me? I was like, come on, baby, stop playing. We just had a great morning. Why you going to mess it up with asking me about cheating? I said, ain't nobody cheating on you. So Tiff, now the pit bull, because she knows she got me. She's like, again, stop playing. Just tell me the truth. How long you been cheating on me? I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So now that I'm going to play stupid, which most men do when they're caught, Tiff goes, well, who's Adrian and why is she so happy she's not pregnant? Oh, I wanted to crash my car. Oh, man, I was done. I was caught. Ain't nothing I could do. And by this time, we had reached Canarsie, and we were right at the train station because I would drop Tiff off at the train station, and I worked right down the block at IS 211 100 and J. So before I could say anything, Tiff was like, when you get off work, come by my house, get all your stuff. We're done. Oh, man. Spring Creek. There we go. Thank you, Kim. See, everybody know my New Yorkers would know Spring Creek. So by the time we got to the Avenue L train station, my relationship had been officially kaput because I had been caught. And that was the Bill Clinton moment. Yes, that was Yeah, that was it. And oh man, I was shook up because, like most stupid men, I cared about Tiff, but I didn't care about myself. So the things that I went out and did, so after begging and pleading and crying and begging and pleading and crying, she took me back. She didn't have to, but she did because she cared about me and thought that maybe, things could work out. And of course, this went on and I got caught again. And all this, yeah, it was broken heart time. I got you. So what happens is, now you would say, how come she didn't leave me? Now that's something you would have to ask Tiff, because when we've had this conversation, Tiff, here's why when I go out and I talk about a strong woman staying with a weak man, because she can see what I could have been if I could have got it together. Tiff saw more in me than I saw in myself. And also, she didn't take my cheating personal. Yes, she was hurt, but she didn't take my cheating personal because she knew it was something that I was dealing with me. So by the time we got to the third time, I knew the relationship was over. I knew I had screwed up. I remember sneaking and reading her diary, and I remember her writing in her diary, I love Keith, but I can't do this no more. And now we're coming up on 2005. 2.5 years of being into this, trying to figure out what's going on. And it was in June, it was in July, because I remember it was summertime, and I remember she going to the beach. And I remember reading it. Did I beg? Oh Lord, Tony, beg. I was begging more than Keith's, any song Keith's would ever put. And it wasn't me the reason why she took me back. That's true. Tell her, baby. It wasn't me. She could see what I was, but I couldn't see it. So when we got to that last time, and I've told the story before, but I'll tell you again. If you like to fool around, why? Well, because I was immature, Flex. That's a great question if a person knows. See, most men don't realize that not only are they immature, they're hurt, and also they're stupid. And so, yes, I should not have been in a relationship if I had thought that I was going to go out and cheat. But the problem is I never actually dealt with the issues that I had to begin with. And those weren't Tiff's issues. And all those questions that come up, why be in a relationship if you're going to cheat, and how could you say you love her and then you go out and do what you got to do? Because the thing is, you can have an emotional connection with somebody but still not be able to control yourself on the other end. And the problem is because I didn't bring that to the table at the beginning. So let me tell you guys this, and anybody that's in a relationship or that's going to get into a relationship or whatever. This is why I'm a proponent of put all your dirt on the table at the beginning. Stop trying to hold back to see if the person could deal, and put it all on the table. Look, this is who I am. She saw your potential and what you could. Yes, and I didn't see it at the time. A few people saw what I could become, but I didn't, because, and again, this is what I'm talking about, is when you don't put all your dirt on the table. You don't give a person all that they need to see. So if you present a certain way, and you're good at that, and most cheaters are good at presenting a certain look. And I'm not talking about your ordinary thirsty cheaters. The dudes that's going to hump this, that, tomorrow, whatever. No, I'm talking about real super cheaters, great white. Thank you, Latoya. Many serial cheaters don't face the root of their cheating. Exactly. Uh-oh. What was it, Tiff? Tell them why you stayed with me before I continue. Go ahead and tell them. Why did you stay with me? We're all in drama waiting for Tiff to type. No, but while she's typing. So the thing is, most people who, especially me, is that I never knew what monogamy was. Never practiced it. Never seen it. You can't be what you don't actually subscribe to being if you don't commit to being it. So these are questions that should be had at the very beginning. What are your thoughts on monogamy? And when a person answers the question, see if their history lines up with what they say. See, the great white liars like me, I think most people who cheat are immature and hurt. They need They need to love themselves. Yes. Self-consciously, he was at. Of course, we're all asking for help when we're hurt. And yes, most cheaters are immature because why go through all those lies? No, I mean me. Oh, listen, I have no problem. Listen, I am an open book because I have no problem being transparent about what I was. See, I wish more men would. Most men are scared. In my lifetime, and I put it in my book, I've been with over 300, maybe 400 women. Because I started this when I was 12. And I was humping everything moving for years. I'm 52 years old. That's 40 years of humping. 40 years. If you just keep it relatively simple and say 10 a year, that's 400. And I know it's more than that. The first time your sister called me, you talked about 3 hours. She said, I don't want to break you up with my husband, but if you do understand, he said, you're the best thing that ever happened to him. I never seen it either. And most men don't admit that they never seen monogamy. It's very difficult. Thank you, Tiff, for putting that, by the way. Because, yes, I had to elicit the help of my sister because Tiff wasn't even trying to talk to me. I had to get help. I had to get somebody, because she wouldn't even take my calls. I had to get somebody whose call I knew she would take. So here's the thing, is that often what we want in relationships is what we believe the relationship should be. But the real question is, do you have an understanding of what it is that you want? And are you prepared to do the work that's necessary to have it? I believe it was a habit like any other habit. Yes. Oh, listen, it was a sex. Listen, and sex like any other drug. And I didn't think that I was a sex addict, but once you get good at something, oh yeah, it gets good to you. Now, my Christian folks understand that the flesh is super weak. And once you start to feed the negativity that the flesh can bring, and once you get stimuli from that, oh my God, and now all you need is access. Well, sex is the one thing you always have access to at any time you want it, if you're good enough to do it and know where to go to get it. And when in doubt, go pay for it. Yeah, go pay for it. I talked about that too. It's in my book. And I don't have no problem talking about it because these are the things that you're going to do. I'm just lucky that at some point I didn't get AIDS. Well, I didn't get any sexual transmitted diseases, but I did create a lot of babies. I actually have a whole chapter on abortions and miscarriages, 25, 26, something like that. Yes, it was disgusting. They knew me. They knew my face at Choices in Queens, Eastside Gynecologist on 64th and 3rd Avenue, and any other abortion clinic in between. Yes, I talk about this. Because I'm not talking about, oh, my ego definitely was at play. Love the attention. I was an egomaniac. And borderline still is in some cases. I'm just more under control, and I make it about other people now. Because I lived that life. 37 years I was that way. And see, what happens is most folks are scared to be completely transparent because it hurts. Yes. I also was molested when I was younger. I didn't realize it. I didn't identify with that till I was in my 20s. That's another reason why I was hypersexual. In my mind, I'm trying to push myself away from what happened when I was 6 or 7 years old. Didn't tell anybody. I had to fix myself from that. So when you pile all that together, you get out here and believe the only way to make yourself feel like you're valuable or to feel like you're something is let me go out here and exercise myself sexually. So at 12, I start doing it. At 14, 15, I'm with a woman who's 40 years old who enjoys what happens, so she invites her friend who's 50. So I'm with a 40-year-old and a 50-year-old at 14 and a half. So I'm being molested again, not realizing that it's molestation. And all of a sudden, now I'm getting good at it. And I talk about this in my book. When you practice anything, you get good at it. So while other people was out doing basketball, football, whatever, I'm having sex. It was something I thought about all the time, did all the time. Now here's the danger, especially you old cougars. Let me help y'all out with this. Stop messing with underage boys. Not saying that you are, I'm just saying if you do. Because at 14 and a half, 15, I think I was 15. At 15, when you're with a 40 or 50-year-old woman and you're pleasing them, and they're teaching you things that you have no business knowing. Why was it by an older woman? Was it by an older woman? Oh, yeah, it was with an older woman. With 12, no. 12 years old, she was, when I was 12, she was 13. Yeah, I think she was 30. The first one was, no, we were the same age. She was 12. Then at 14, I was with a girl who was 12 or 13. That's when I had my son, my oldest, because my oldest son I think is 37. I'm 52. Yeah, so I think that's when I had my first son. I didn't know. Mother didn't want to say nothing. I didn't find out until like 26 years later that I had a child. But here's the thing: when older women get with a younger boy or whatever, a younger woman or older woman gets with a younger boy, here's the danger. Once he learns how to please an older woman, once he's learning how to please older women, what these women have done is they have left women that boy's age defenseless. What was a 15, 16-year-old girl supposed to do against a boy 14, 15, 16, 17 years old who knows how to please grown women? She's helpless. So now I can make these words of I love you seem very good and very sincere when you now can make love, sex, and make it connect. Say, see how I made you feel? I must love you. And then now I can use her naivete to my advantage. So you become a predator because you were taught to be a predator. So now, what does a predator need? Victims. Well, what's the one thing that you always have enough of? Victims. Now, I've always had a thing for full-figured women. Always. Since I was a baby, I was raised around big women. Love them. Still do. So all of a sudden, I have an affection for women who society is already saying you're less than. Who society is already treating them in a bad way. Who already has the weight of somebody saying you're not attractive because you're big. And here comes a man that's attractive. Yes, I am. There's my ego, but I know I look good. I tell myself that every morning. Anyway, now here comes a man who's handsome. A man who knows how to speak. And the worst part is that I know how to please a woman because older women have armed me with that. Now I can prey on full-figured girls who are confused about their body. And I can make them feel tremendous because of what I know how to do. And all I got to do is act like I love them, not realizing the long-term damage of what I was going to do to them or what I was actually doing to them physically and mentally. And then on top of that, not protecting myself, so then putting their bodies in danger because when they got pregnant, then the emotions would switch and make them feel horrible about having sex with me, so they start to hate me, so they go ahead and have the abortion. That's how psychotic it is. And that is what great white cheaters can accomplish. They're psychologically damaging, they're physically damaging, and they're emotionally damaging. All because now when I had all that material to work with, all I needed was victims. True, it steals the boy's innocence and grow too fast, not easily. Yes, and that's the thing. So when I explained that to you, so with Tiff and I, once we had reached that point, Tiff, oh yeah, very confident, oh without question. My confidence is off the charts, it's ridiculous. So with Tiff being a very intelligent young lady, when I met Tiff at 19 and I was 28, I was married. So when I tried to approach Tiff, yes, she was attracted to me, I was attracted to her, but her first thing was, are you married? Yes, I am. She ain't trying to deal with me. And we went out on one date, went to the movies, and everything was working. I had my A game on, I'm good. I had already been planting these seeds. I got her attention. I was coaching. I was a student coach at York College. She was a cheerleader, and she was new to the school. This is my second stint at the school because I was already here in the 80s. Oh, man, everything was perfect except the one thing. Tiff's self-esteem was on swole. So when she asked me, was I married, and I said yes, she was like, I don't have nothing to do with you. And before I could get into my whole, I'm not happy, that she wasn't hearing none of that. And then she dropped out of school because her brother passed away. Didn't see each other. And I remember telling somebody that I said, yo, she's cute. That's my little diamond in the rough. I said, let me tell you something. Someday in the future, that's going to be my lady right there. My man was like, yeah, whatever, big dog. I was like, I'm telling you. And actually, they used to call me Frost. Frost was Ike Turner's right-hand man, and What's Love Got to Do with It. So they used to call me Frost because in 95, when I came back to York College, I started York College in 85. So when I came back to York College in 95, I was older than a lot of the guys I was hanging out with. So that's why they called me Frost, because I was an OG, and I just kind of hung out, and I was the older head, and that was it. So they used to call me Frost. They say, yeah, Frost, you ain't getting that. I said, I'm telling you, that's my little diamond in the rough. And Tiff can tell you, I used to ask her, like, why do you walk around the school? You know, you kind of cute. You look like a bum, though. I said, you know, you look kind of poor. She said, really? You calling me poor? I said, you do. You know, you clean yourself up. You look real good. And I actually told her, if you clean yourself up, I might take you out sometime. She said, well, the reason why I dress this way because I own a house. And I was like, you own a house? How old are you? She said, I'm 19. I said, you own a house. And she did. She owned a house. Stalker. I wasn't stalking her. She just looked good. She dropped out of school to go to work, and it was around the time that your brother passed. Stop the foolishness. Of course I know Ron St. John. Played for Ron St. John in 85. Ron St. John was our coach in 85 and 86, and then Ron he was already assistant coach at for the varsity, and then Tony Brown came in as our coach. But me and Ron go back since 1985 when I started at York. All my partners were all still connected from York College. So yes, Ron St. John, I know each other very well. And so now Tiff drops out. I had told her, you know, this was going to happen. So 5 years later, I run into Tiff. I'm now separated, back home in Queens, my ex-wife in Brooklyn. And when I see Tiff, I had said to her, hey, don't act like you don't know me. We was on Boulevard, right on 137th, right where my mom's house is. I had moved back to my mom, and Tiff lived right around the corner on 140th. Oh, she was on 137th. I was on, 137? See, I'm getting my Queens addresses. You were on 137th, I was on 140th, right, or the other way around. Either way, we was right there on the Boulevard where the 113 stops. I live right up the block, and Tiff lived right around the corner. And when I seen her, I said, don't act like you don't know me. Okay, that's right, he did. That's right, I got you. Yeah, small world, Flex. That's why I don't fool around and be disrespectful to folks. You never know who knows whoever. I was born in 40 Projects, South Jamaica, Queens, man. I don't play games. You never know who knows who. So, when Tiff and I seen her coming out the store, we started talking again, and the first thing out of her mouth was, are you still married? I said, yes, I am, but let me explain to you what's going on. I said, me and my wife are separated, and it's pending divorce. I'm back home with my mom. We started talking, and pretty much we've been together ever since. But one of the things to fast forward in our relationship with the cheating, the thing that I had never done in my relationship, and it wasn't until that last time, that last moment, and y'all have heard me tell this story before, but again, I'll tell you, was that when I read Tiff's diary, and I saw that she said, I love Keith to death, but I can't do this no more. Now, I lived in Jamaica. I was in Rochdale. I grew up in Rochdale. I hung out in St. Albans. My aunt lives in St. Albans, and I used to hang out on Keysville, right off of Farmers Boulevard with my partner. But I'm originally from Supton Boulevard and South Road and Supton and 120th and Rochdale. So I grew up, right in South Jamaica. I'm tried and true 40 Projects, right off of South Road and 157, I think it is. I used to live. It was divine intervention. I wasn't going to get off the bus that night. Yes, I agree. Let me tell you another thing that's interesting about that night Tiff and I reconnected, right? That night I was at the track over on Baisley, which is about 10 minutes from my house. And I remember saying to God, because I was just frustrated, because I had been out of my marriage now 9 months, whatever it was. And I remember saying to God, just send me somebody who understands me. I didn't even ask for love, guys, because I knew I wasn't where I needed to be. See, a cheater or anybody else who's doing dirt knows that they're no good. They know. They just don't say anything. And they literally do things to get caught. That's why when ladies, if you go, why was he so stupid? Why would he just leave that out there? Because secretly he's trying to get caught because he wants to end the pain. The hardest part with being a liar is that you got to lie to yourself first. And you lie to yourself daily. You lie to yourself every day. And what happens is that you get so comfortable with lying that inside you starts to push back at the lies, your own lies. You literally are having a conversation with yourself. You know you're lying. Why are you lying to her? And you see that little angel devil thing going on, but it's real inside your head. Oh yeah, that's where we lived at, right off of 137th Farm. We live right around the corner. Right off of Guy Brewer, 132-159, and Tip was on 140. right around the corner. So we were right in the same area, Michelle. Right down the block from IS 72. I know exactly where you were. You were right near the conduit. And so that's the thing that now when I sit with folks now, I understand it, because that was the thing I had never dealt with. God opened up a ton of closed doors for me, but the first thing I had to do, Flex, was I had to open up the door to not only my past, I had to deal with me in such a way that I had to really understand what was going on with me. When you live the type of life that I've lived, that a lot of people live when they're out cheating and they're all caught up in the flesh, you're secretly hating yourself at the same time you're doing all the things that you're doing. And then you still want love, so you're literally going out and inviting people to come into your life just to be victimized. And the hope is that you come across somebody strong enough to weather the storm to help pull you out your own situation. Now, unfortunately, as we've talked about with the domestic violence cases, that some men give into their own pain to the point that they want to just cause physical harm to other people simply because they cannot deal with what that is inside them. Well, myself, I was raised never to harm a woman physically, but I was never taught how to not harm a woman psychologically. And then sexually, I didn't know the outcome of the harm that I was doing sexually. Well, we all have to repent at some point, Flex. That's the, when you come to it, there it is right there. And when we talk about acknowledging our behaviors, that's the hard part, because people know that they'll acknowledge what's wrong in secret. That's why most women and men who are really super cheaters, they have at least 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 friends who know exactly what they're doing, because they need an accomplice. They need somebody to be able just to get enough of that blackness out to be able to live life. So there's always one rider. There's one rider. Every cheater has at least one rider that knows where the bodies are buried, if not more. Because they got to be able to get that negative energy out. They got to be able to go, yo, son, you know what I did to that chick last night? It was filthy. Word, what'd you do? Oh, man, and her friend. Word, oh, man, if my wife catch me, yo, son, yo, just be careful. And the crazy part is the friend will actually try to make it make sense. I have a relative that lives to womanize, but I know he wants to. Yeah, listen, we all want love. We do. We don't believe it or not, but we do. Nobody wants to be alone. But when you're in this cycle, this super negative cycle, and sex is a very insidious thing, because sex is something that it takes, unless you get something, of course, a buy-in for the, of course, Pam. Oh, listen. Let me tell you something. The greatest thing, that's the truth, the secret society crew or the hangout. Oh, yes. We were called the loose crew. If it ain't loose, it ain't in use. Loose dangling, baby. That was the credo, loose dangling. We had nicknames and the whole foolishness, man, because you need that solidarity, that secret solidarity, to be able to purge some of that darkness out of you. But it's not healthy because they're not purging it. They're just kind of putting it off to the side like a cape until you're ready to hit the streets and get up. Let me throw my cape back on. Let's go. Between the strip clubs, the big girl clubs, crackheads, prostitutes, you name it, you're going to get it. And you can find somebody who's going to rock with you because they start to see the enjoyment. Now, here's the thing. Because I'm a fire starter, and what I mean by that is I'm a life of a party dude. I'm a super extrovert when I choose to be. So when I walk into a party, I don't need a crew for me to do me. So that automatically makes me enticing for folks to hang out with. It also makes it easier for me to get women, because I will walk up to 10 women and say, good evening, ladies. No disrespect. All of you are looking lovely. I'm not thirsty, but your sister right here I'd love to dance with. May I? May I? And I have no problem because my confidence is in such a place that I can say, come on, when me and her go to dance, it isn't because I'm trying to sleep with her, because if I can get her, cool. I'm actually trying to figure out how I can send messages to every other girl in here. I got you when I get a chance to. Now, let me let you know something else, ladies. Pay attention. If you're with a crew of 4 or more ladies, 4, I found this to be true. 4 more ladies. One of them don't like you. And I'm good enough that if I hang out with you long enough, I'll figure out which one will do you dirty. And I can sleep with her too. Because I'm going to be very cordial. I'm going to be very polite. I'm going to have a lot of great things to bring to the table and sound as if I really care what y'all are talking about. And I'm going to move myself a little bit away from the ordinary thirsty dude who comes over. They want to be idolized. Thank you. And what happens is once I figure out, and y'all will help me know which one is the hoe in the crowd. Girl, shut up, because you can't keep your panties on anyway. Did I just hear that? Here we go. There's the one. Now, how do I get her? Simply by being funny. Because all you have to say is, I would tell you something, but I'm not saying nothing because you're going to tell your girl. Here's what you listen for. I ain't telling her nothing. There it is. Please, I ain't got nothing to say to her. There it is. Now all I have to do is move her away from the herd. All I have to do is figure out a way to get her from the crew. Make her feel comfortable that she's not going to get caught. And I'll take my shot. Now, you don't always get away with it. You got to be prepared to take losses, too. This is gambling. Because she might go back and get in an argument and go, that's why I'm humping your man. Yeah, you got to be prepared for that. That's why you can't have a girlfriend in that crew. You can be sleeping with one and possibly the second one. But that your girl can't be in that crew. Your girl has to be somewhere else. You don't bring your girl to where you feed at. Ask Tiff. I never took Tiff to any of the big girl parties. So most of the girls at the big girl parties didn't even know I had a girl. They knew I was something. But when you're wearing your wedding band around your neck and you got a very believable story of how it got there, law averages work for me. No, I don't want you to not have female friends. You know what the funny thing is, Tony? No, I hated one night stands. And girls that offered me on the first night got cut off quickly because I didn't trust them. I never wanted girls that gave it away. That defeated the purpose. And to believe it or not, in all the years of all the hoeing that I did, I had one night stand, and I thought it was disgusting. Because I never wanted to be with somebody that gave it to me. That defeated the whole purpose of my work. I was a sadomasochist in my mind. And you're just going to give it to me? And here's the crazy part, is if I got it from you, and you gave it to a dude that I thought was less than what I was, I cut you off instantly. I remember my partner and I sitting in a hotel, and he said, so let me get this right. A chick goes out and does what you do, and you cut her off? Yep. Instantly. That happened to me and a friend that was in the choir. 2 women, but I blame my husband. I had no desire to go. Oh, yes, Tiff wasn't going. And that made it even easier because Tiff didn't want to go to the big girl parties. So now I could go and graze and do all the things that I want to do and then come back, clean up, and I was good. Now, to fast forward, let's get to the real stuff. What has to happen, guys, is that you have to come, there has to be a moment that you come to terms with your pain. And what I mean by that is all the unhappiness that I was suffering was building up inside me. In my first book, A Man in Transition, which is my poetry, I started noticing that my poetry was taking on a strong sadness. And I started looking at some of the things that I was writing online. I was on Yahoo. I've been on the internet since 1994. I started noticing that I was writing. Maybe I should listen to that voice inside me. Maybe I should go back to church. Maybe I should look to change my life. So I was speaking to the pain, but I wasn't addressing it. I was speaking to it. And also what happens now that I was with Tiff that was different than any other woman is my feelings for Tiff created something that normally doesn't happen in cheaters. Guilt. See, the one thing that most cheaters, super cheaters, I'm talking about super cheaters. I'm not talking about the ordinary cat will just lay down whatever. Oh yeah, the big girl parties, trust me. Well, there's still pictures of me out there. I'm not going to tell you where they are, but anyway. Yeah, even my pops almost found some of the pictures of me at big girls parties. He's in the big chicks too. I love big women. Me, sexy starts at size 14 or better. No disrespect to my slim sisters, but I don't even look at y'all. I think I've dated 2 slim women my whole life. Everything has been size 14 or better. And men, don't be messing with big girls if you don't know what you're doing. You get a size 30 going and you don't know what you're doing, it's lights out for you, bruh. You better come with your A game. If you get a size 28 or better worked up, you better know what you're doing. Because I've been out there, 30s, 32s, yeah. I've had a couple of 30. Anyway. Let me just say, don't get no 30 round up. You don't know what you're doing. You will get hurt. So anyway, the idea is, what happens is, when your pain starts to get to such a point that it becomes overwhelming, you start to realize something has to be done. Now, y'all guys have heard me tell this story, but again, I'm like, I love sharing. I ain't no problem with it. I was in South Jersey, about an hour and a half from where I live right now. About an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, 4 hours out of New York, waiting on a young lady who I had already got caught cheating with, the very first young lady that I told you about when Tiff caught me. So I had went back where I should not have never been. And I had what I believed to be the perfect plan. I had just came off a weekend of getting into something nasty, but I didn't do anything. I was there and I was around it and I was in this chick's face and that chick's face, but I didn't do anything that weekend because I had this plan and the chick was on her way and she didn't make it. She didn't come to the hotel. And that was the night I heard the Lord's voice. And I tell this story about hearing the Lord's voice because I don't care if any person who doesn't believe in God or doesn't say God, I'd shut up. I'm telling you what happened to me. You don't have to believe it at all. In a hotel with condoms on the nightstand, waiting on a woman that I had already got caught cheating with. She never showed up. She kept saying her stomach was bothering her and this was wrong. And the War Room actually stole my. It was funny that when I watched the War Room and homeboy was going to go out and cheat and then he got sick and that's how he wound up missing his opportunity to cheat. It was actually the reverse. The young lady got sick with me. And I had wrote about it before the War Room, so don't think that I stole the story from the War Room. It's actually in my book, which came out before the War Room. And that day, I remember sitting on the edge of the bed, and 4 different pastors, televangelists that were on the television spoke into my life. And the 4th one, when he mentioned the age, he said, and I don't know who I'm talking to. And, the person was 37, and I think I was 35 at the time. And I was like, wow. And I remember getting on my knees because the pain at that point had just became overwhelming. Because all the negativity that I was came to the forefront because I remember the nights that me and Tiff had lost a baby. Let's put that on the table. Tiff had a miscarriage, so we had lost a child. And when I started thinking of all of the harm that I have done to so many women, I realized that here I was with someone I really cared about. And they had already lost a child. And I remember writing it right here in my book. And saying, Lord, did you let me get here to not be able to, after making all these babies with God knows whoever, that now the person I really want to make a child with, I can't. And so I remember everything I had the pretty woman at home, and I had the nice Jeep, and I had the job teacher. I had all the things. I had the master's degree. I had all the things that people want, but I didn't have peace. And so I had to get up off that floor and go home and fix home. And that's what I did. It took us 2.5 years to fix it. And you don't just fix it. You don't just get up and say, okay, I'm going to be a child of God and everything is okay. No, it don't work that way. It just means now you're going to try to do it a different way. But it also means you got to own your trash. So that last night that I was going to leave Tiff, and I was at the door, and Tiff said, I'm done with you. I knew that if I walked out that door, I was going to lose the best thing that ever happened to me. When I turned back to Tiff and I said, I don't want to go. And she said, I don't want you to go. But she said, we can't keep it like this. And this is exactly what she said. It's either going to be God and me, or you and the whores in the street, but you can't have both. You're going to have to make a choice. And I remember us both sitting on the bed, and I said to her, and she said to me, you got to let me in because I need to know what goes on inside your head. And I said, you don't need to know that. It's crazy inside my head. She said, oh, I do, because how can I protect you from you from yourself if you don't let me in. And I remember sitting there thinking, no other woman actually asked to get inside this here. Who's that? Go back with mommy. Go back with mommy. Go back with mommy. Go ahead. We'll talk in a minute. Thank you, baby. And so I remember thinking, no other woman asked that. So let's see what happens. And I put the work in. And I remember that night was the night I said, that's it. It's time to put the work in. And I put the work in. So 2.5 years later, 13 years from today, when I said I do, we knew what we had put in. We know what we had overcame. We knew what it took to get to the point to be able to go, we want to do this forever. Now, I told you I had asked God, that's true. I did say I would sleep on the couch forever. But I told you, I had spoke to the Lord and said, I need somebody who understands me. But here's the funny thing, and this is why Tiff said it was prophetic. That same night that I had asked the Lord to send me somebody that understands me, because I didn't even think I deserved love, Tiff had asked the Lord to send me somebody who loves me. And yet we found each other. And over the years, the thing that we have seen to be the case is that she understands my craziness, because I'm not all together now. I'm smooth when I'm in front of the camera, but I'm crazy sometimes. She gets it. And also, she never has to worry about my love for her, because she knows I got her back. And then we were blessed with a child 8 years later after we lost the first one. And that's the lovely one that you just came in the room here to show me her hair. So the work that is required to go from cheater to happily married takes a yeoman's effort, but it takes both of you. It's not just Tiff and it's not just me. It was the combination of both of us wanting something greater than the two of us. Also, it took Tiff not climbing down into the mud that I was in, but holding her place and making me come out of it to assume the position that I really wanted to be in. So any man watching this, and ladies, any man that you think needs to see this, man, if you want to be submitted to, you have to give her reason to submit. Stop asking women to submit to some stuff. Oh, I was about to curse. Don't ask women to submit when you haven't. You have to submit to a force greater than yourself to then have your woman submit to you, and then together y'all become a force that the world has not seen, and your children will respond to it. But often we don't have folks who understand what their real power is, so they're asking somebody else to do it for them. Tiff never climbed in and said, okay, I'm going to jump in here with you and be. No, Tiff was who she needed to be, herself. And she never wavered from that. Now, once I got my feet up under me, well, then who I was created to be came to the forefront. And I became a whole different man. And the one thing I've learned over the 15 years since this journey started is that Flex just mentioned about the doors that the Lord will open. Oh, yeah. He'll open the doors. Are you brave enough to walk through? See, the Lord never stops opening doors. God will open up doors all day, every day. Most of us are scared to walk through because we're comfortable with the negative person we've grown used to. Let me say that again. Many of us are comfortable with the negative person that we are used to. So we don't walk through the doors because we're fearful of what's there, because we have no knowledge of it. So we stay in the quote unquote comfort bubble, even if that bubble is rank and killing us slowly. So the reason why I'm transparent and the reason why I have no fear of my past is because I know somebody else right now is drowning in their own negativity while smiling as if everything is okay. I know somebody right now who's being cheated on and they know it, but they'd rather stay with the cheater that they know instead of going out here and finding a new man because they get 2 or 3 extra orgasms. I said it. Listen to some of the conversations that women have. I know. I've sat there and listened. He ain't asked, but Lord, can he sling it? Oh, he gets on my nerves, but girl, the way he can, I know. I've heard it with men too. Oh, I hate that. She gets on my nerve. But son, have you seen the way she looked though? Yo, son, that thing she does. Really? Really? Okay. That's how powerful sex is. Oh, we definitely become victims of all circumstance. Let me see. I missed that, Tony. Let me see. Let me go back up a second. Oh, it's over here. Let me go back up because I missed what you said, Tony. That's good you're sharing. You can be very well not well cheated. You can very well not only help cheating. Oh, yeah, thank you. Listen, Tiff and I have been doing this for years because this is what we do. This is the reason why every anniversary we share those wedding videos. We want you to see that, one, we didn't have an ordinary wedding. And the whole thing was about $8,000. And $4,500 to $5,000 of it went to the trip to Jamaica for 8 nights. The rest, it wasn't that expensive. Because we wasn't going to waste all that because we knew what we wanted. But this is why I counsel the way I do. This is why I went back to school to get a second master's degree. Is because I'm not your prototypical counselor. I'm not. I'm connected to these streets. I'm connected to this music. I'm connected to the body. I understand a part of the sexual dynamic that most people are scared to talk about. And it allows me to be able to have a conversation that some people are scared to have. See, there's nothing about sex I haven't seen, heard, or been around. Nothing. Other than homosexuality, and that's only because that's not a choice of mine. It's been offered. Yeah, no, I'm good. Thank, bro. I've had transsexuals hit on me. I've had homosexual men. That's not my area. I'm good. Doesn't mean it hasn't been offered. There's nothing about sex I don't know, but here's what I do know about sex. It ruins lives because people think they can master it. You can't master something that changes the way your heart beats. Yeah, I said it. You can't change something that has caused wealthy men and women to give away their whole lives over. You can't change something that makes you call out to a God you can't see when you claim to love him before you started humping, but will completely put him to the side just to get a nut. Yeah, I said it. You know how many women said, oh, I got to get to church in the morning while they were naked, doing something they shouldn't have been doing with a man that they already knew was married? Now many men claim to love the Lord but can't wait to do something vile in the Lord's house because when it comes to sex, even the Bible says flee, run from it. Why? If you read it, it says flee from sexual inequities. Why? He didn't say walk away from it. The Bible says flee. Go look up the definition of flee. It says run with passion, basically. Run away with authority. Because even God knew. You start going down that route, you'll forget who I am. You'll pull a Peter. I don't know that, man. I see that booty, though. What that booty do? And so, for me, that is the problem with church. And this is why some churches don't want me to come and speak. They think I'm crass, or they think I'm a little more than they're ready for. And it's okay. Because right now, I know there's some dude out there about to lie to somebody's wife and get all up in her. Right now, there's somebody's girl about to jump on some dude that she knows she shouldn't be with. Right now, somebody's turning the trick simply because that's what they think they need to do to make money. Right now, there's some dude lying to 3 or 4 different girls and going to get all 3 or 4 of them pregnant. They need somebody who's going to talk to them without judging them and to give them an understanding, who's also not going to take advantage of the fact that all I got to say is, ain't nobody here, let's get naked. And they would go for it. It's the truth. Because if we don't address it, we can't fix it. And so Monday, when you heard me talk about the Cardi B song, I don't have a problem with Cardi pushing sex if that's what she wants to do. The problem I have is that I know what it does to people who listen to it who don't have all the strong fortitude that others may have. It's like a gateway drug. It's like offering them something that when they hit it, they're not going to be able to walk away from it. Because you see the reaction to men, to women, to children. Sex is a very mysterious thing. But the problem is we've taken sex, right? It's here. And we've moved love down here. No. Sex is supposed to be here. But love is supposed to be here. And then love is supposed to bring us back to sex. And it's supposed to connect. But if we keep lowering or we try to make sex and love even, then that's how we get it screwed up. Love is supposed to be untouchable. Love is not even supposed to be something that you give away. It's supposed to be something that both of y'all move towards. But because we have sex so quickly, and don't front. I always love how you can walk in a room and go, how many people are having sex? They all lying. How many people think about sex? Not me, not me, not me. They lying. Porn is a $1 trillion industry. Why? Because people love sex. Good to say I dated a married man and I changed my life because I feared God. I got to read the rest of that because I feared God. I was a booger bear too prior to my marriage. After I escaped my abuse, I felt I wanted to use men, made me pay. I thank God for delivering me in a club 20. Yeah, great. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. Sex is a hell of a drug. That's it, Toya. And you know why? Because look, this is the brain. If we just talk physiology, right? Just talk physiology. The brain is altered at the point of ejaculation. Endorphins are given off. So the body literally goes into a whole transitional state before, during, and after. Cognitive thinking dissipates. You literally lose the ability to think when sexually charged, so you're becoming animalistic. Men lose the ability to speak upon ejaculation. That's why we sound so stupid when we come. And women, because y'all are multiple orgasmic, when a man has figured that out, can get you to the point that you literally will go, here, take the damn PIN number, just stop. But let's do it again in about 30 minutes. So the idea, guys, is that when I tell you that you can go from cheater to happily married, I think Pam said it earlier when she said it all depends on the variables. It does. Because every relationship can't be painted with the same brush. Every relationship can't be counted against the same standards. But here's what can happen in every relationship. You have to take the time to address your understanding of where you are with yourself before you invite somebody else in. And then you have to be bold and brave enough to let them know, I'm not really where I need to be your boyfriend. I'm not really where I need to be your girlfriend. Well, what do you mean? I'm just digging penis a little too much right now to be with any one man. I just really need multiple women right now. I'm not really sure what I want to do. Tell the damn truth. Yes, say it just like that. I just love sleeping with a lot of different women. I just wanted to tell you the truth. I just really love sleeping with a lot of different men. Okay, so at least now you're on the same wavelength. So if you go that route, now you put it on the table. You got to be prepared. But here's the thing. Everybody says whatever before. You don't know that when that person is inside of you or you inside of them, what's going to happen transitionally. So yes, coming to the bedroom, y'all both agreed that we don't, no feelings, we just go get in the bed, we go do whatever. And both of your hearts skip a beat. Now you don't know what to do. Because no one knows what's going to happen once y'all get into it. And because we don't really want to have those conversations, we don't know what to do. That's no matter how great the scholar thinks he or she is. There is no sound answer for why people do the stupid things that they do over sex. I don't care how great the scholar is. And the reason why is because sex creates something between the two individuals that are there that they cannot speak to before it actually happens. Entanglement, sexually and otherwise. Thank you, Pam. Everyone is, yes, they are. But here's what we do know, Pam, that is the same for everybody. That chemical imbalance that happens when you're having sex, those triggers inside the brain when you're having sex, and the pulse and the beating of your heart, you do not know what the outcome of that is going to be. So no one can tell you with definitive reasoning that they know exactly what's going to happen after they have sex with you. They can only tell you what has happened to them with other people up to this point. Now, once y'all jump off that cliff together, be prepared for whatever. I had every intention of putting that condom on, and y'all both knew it and did whatever. I had every intention of taking my birth control pills. I had whatever. Because a lot of it sounds good before you get into it. But no one can tell you what's going to happen the minute that you and that other person's body becomes one entity. And once you enter somebody's body and you allow someone to enter you, you are one being. And nobody on this planet can tell you what's going to happen. Good night, darling. I'm getting ready to close out anyway. It's after 10:30. So when I say to you guys that you can go from cheater to happily married, honesty is the best policy, Lakeisha, but here's the problem is, how can you be honest about something that you don't know is going to happen? But you have to be honest going in. But the problem is, no one knows what's going to happen once you get into it. And I don't care if it's male, female, 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 male, male. Once you decide to have sexual intercourse in any form or fashion, you do not know what's going to happen to you. And if we would just stop thinking, if we would just start, thinking, am I really ready for whatever may happen with this person? They may not look as attractive to you. Because everything sounds good until you're in the thralls of passion. It's easy to say, I ain't catching no feelings. Let's just get it in. Oh, please. I done had people kiss me, lick me, touch me. Oh, that sounds good. And all of a sudden, the sun comes out. And there's rainbows over the bed. And where those fireworks come from? And is that a trumpet? So all of a sudden, no. You giving me that again. Now you at work. Oh, Lord. Because you didn't know. You had no idea. So anyway, guys, listen. Let me tell you this. If you have not read From Gigolo to Jesus, make sure you pick up a copy of From Gigolo to Jesus. Tiff, if you're still on, put my website into the chat room. Also, if any of the things that I talked about tonight resonates with you or anybody watching this in replay, and you need to talk, reach out. Let's have a conversation, because at the end of the day, you need to have a conversation about this, because it's not just something that you can deal with in one session. It's not just something that you can say, I got. There's a whole lot to it, and there's a lot more, including your age and a lot of other things and your experiences. Because if you had negative experiences, that can affect what goes on. There's so many nuances, and I think when Pam said the different variables, she is so correct, because I talk about that a lot, is that often we want to paint people with the same brush, and we want to say is this, is that, is not. The variables change this tremendously. Oh, let me see. Can y'all guys still see me? I think the camera's still on. So I don't know, my computer's still. I got to get a new computer. Anybody want to chip into the let's help KL get a new computer fund? I got to get me a new computer. But Pam was 100% right, because I talk about the variables a lot. And when I speak to people privately, I talk to them. And actually, if you need to set up a call with me, and if this is something that resonates with you, yeah, it did interrupt on my side as well. I'm getting ready to get off because I think my computer's slowing down. Yeah, I think is it still frozen? Is it still frozen? Because I think that's what happens here. It's freezing. I might need to switch to my phone from now on. I'm not exactly sure. But can you guys see me and hear me now? Let me see, because I'm going to have to close this out right now. All right. But Tiff, put my the publishing company inside the chat room. But guys, if you need to reach out to me, let's talk. I'm going to jump off because I realize that once I get to about the hour mark, that's about all I got with this computer here until I can get a new one. But as business picks up, I will do that. That is the next thing on my agenda, because I know it's starting to freeze on my end as well. But we can continue this in the chat room. I'm going to get off. You can continue talking. That is the reason why we have a private group. So again, oh, we're great now. So again, I want to say thank you. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate you. I will see you guys on Friday at 9:30. I'm not sure what the subject will be. I'll probably post it sometime tomorrow. It's been a great one. Have a good night, guys.